doing what I'm doing.
Nobody.
That's theft. You can't come out here and steal somebody's What the wrong with you, yo Yeah, call the police, you piece of
Hey, listen. I don't want this to get...
You know the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
You know what? My daughter would kill me because she's an attorney.
Oh, yeah?
I don't even know.
Well, you took an oath to the Constitution, didn't you?
You know what? When you ask me a question, what's the First Amendment? I don't know.
All right. Well, at least you're honest and can say it. I defended myself, defended my property, and
What's that? What is that thing called?
This is a monopod.
Okay.
And this is a mount so you can put cameras, microphones. You can see my microphone was broke off. See, I had a microphone on there. He broke that off, broke this, took my phone. You know, I had to take it back. I wasn't going to let the man just run off with it, you know what I mean? And then he attempted to even grab my stuff the second time, and he had a hold of it. He's a pretty big guy for the old guy he is, you know, and he had a good grip on there. And finally, you know, he's pulling, I'm pulling, he slips, falls, I get my stuff, I'm backing up, I slip, fall, you know what I mean? And big clusterfuck, you know. He's lucky I didn't have some OC. I'd have hosed his ass down. He'd be looking like a Smurf right now.
No, you're recording yourself now?
Absolutely. I'm not afraid. I'll put my face on the video.
Well, I don't care about
you
that.
know.
I just got to be careful the type of language I use when the sheriff comes after me.
Right. Yeah, you got a code of conduct and policies you have to follow. Yep. You're wearing black socks, right? It's part of your dress code, ain't it?
Actually, no. I have boots on.
Yeah, but what's on under those?
They're white socks.
I think if you look, I don't know your department specifically, but I think if you just look at dress code, you might find that it specifically says black socks. But I mean, it's just.
If I wear my dress shoes, yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've got 80 boots.
All right. Sometimes I like to do sock checks on officers to make sure they're in compliance.
And I'll tell you what, my feet stink like the hell at the end of the day with black socks.
Right. I wear black socks all the time. I don't have the problem. Yep. Yeah, I'll show you a quick picture of the guy anyways. I mean, we got time to burn.
Yeah, do that. I might know him.
I also like to do videos of Uperlite hunting.
Get up the courier for that?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I have never done that, sir.
No?
I'd camp at the 2 Heart all the time, and I would be up there.
My favorite place to go. I love it up there.
And with their lights on at night.
Yeah. Love the 2 Heart. What is that author's name?
Hemingway?
Hemingway wrote a couple books about the 2 Heart. Yes, sir. Sunday school starts at 10 a.m. Morning worship starts at 11. That was when I first got there. It's towards the end here. All right.
I do not know him, sir.
That's when he grabbed my stuff again.
Who do you think you are? Huh? I'm a nobody. That's right, you are a fucking nobody.
Is that him talking?
Yeah.
All I did. All you did is come out here and snatch my shit off my thing and fucking broke. I asked you. I don't have to answer your fucking question. Who the fuck do you think you are? Fucking garbage piece of shit. I'm a nobody.
Passive aggressive after being violent, you know. Ridiculous.
You're gonna fucking catch a charge.
And you think that old man be old enough to know better?
Is that the only picture of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty good picture. I could
Yeah, it
freeze
is.
and take a screenshot of that. You know what I mean?
People who break my shit.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Half hour.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, and when the troopers get here and we discuss, I'll give the man the opportunity to apologize, pay for my stuff, and I won't press no charges. You know what I mean? And he can be educated by the troopers, and everybody can learn something, and no foul, no harm. You know what I mean?
Sounds fair.
Because I mean that's my biggest reason for what I do now, is I want to educate people to our constitutional rights. You know, our Constitution has taken a hit in the last few years, you know. A lot of people have feelings, and I don't care about feelings. I care about law. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the Constitution's taking a hit all the time. It's getting expanded where it shouldn't be.
Yep, yeah, it's far overreaching, you know. Yeah, absolutely. You know.
We'll definitely not get into a political discussion.
Right, yeah. No, I don't care about politics. You know what I mean? It's not what I'm here for. I care less. Somebody's a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. Me personally, I'm an independent. I'm a free-thinking American. I don't prescribe to sides. You know what I mean? I'm for our country. I care less if you're a Democrat or a Republican. All them damn politicians are freaking liars anyways. Can't trust a damn one of them.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think the last honest president is?
Ooh, man. I would say, I mean, Honest Abe, you know, or George Washington. I shall not tell a lie. You know, I mean, beyond that, I'm sure we've had good presidents, don't get me wrong. I support all our presidents, even if they...
Last honest president that you can remember that was alive.
See, I'm 41.
I got you beat. I'm 65.
So, I mean...
I'll throw my 2 cents worth out.
I didn't really start paying attention to politics. I remember with Dan Quayle coming through town when I lived downstate for the election season at that time. So that was 89, 90, 91, whenever that was.
Who did he run against?
I think he was running against Bush, wasn't he?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So that's kind of where you know what I mean? That's where my memory picks up.
We just had this discussion the other day, and I had to go with Jimmy Carter.
Carter. And you know, somebody I would like to ask would be my grandpa. He's not with us anymore. You
I
know,
thought he was a piss-poor president, but I don't think he could lie.
honesty is the most important. I don't care if you're a shitty president or not, just as long as you're honest to me. You know, and that was the one thing. I was a Trump supporter. That's what I liked about him. I felt like he was being brutally honest. You know, and I feel like our country needs to be ran a little more like a business than a bank account.
I just wish he would learn to keep his mouth shut.
You know, that would be nice. You know what I mean? If he knew when to, but he says the things that we're thinking. You know, and I can respect that. He has the right to he has the First Amendment right to freedom of speech too. You know what I mean? And I disagree with how he said a lot of things, but I don't disagree with what he was saying. You know what I mean? But problem is, the people are triggered too easy these days.
Oh.
You know, feelings this, feelings that, safe rooms, got to have your special pet so you don't freak out while you're on the plane, you know, and they just, and it kind of surprises me when I run across an older person like this, you know what I mean, that just, they don't get it, you know. I mean, look at this, here we go.
Okay.
I carry my pocket Constitution everywhere I go. Do you know the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
You know what? My daughter would kill me because she's an attorney.
Oh, yeah?
I don't even know.
Well, you took an oath to the Constitution, didn't you?
You know what? When you ask me a question, what's the First Amendment? I don't know.
All right. Well, at least you're honest and can say it.
I
You know,
in government that I have to advise your rights. I
Right.
have the right to bear and have arms. I know
well, you
we
know,
have free speech. And
it's you take an oath to the Constitution because you're supposed to defend that Constitution against foreign and domestic terrorists, you know.
yeah, but I don't feel I have to know what the first one says, what the second one says.
I mean, it seems like...
I have to know what they mean and what they do.
Right, but I mean, the First Amendment one is so important that that's why we have the Second Amendment, is so we can defend that first one, you know. And I think it's very important that people in your position of authority, when you take an oath to the Constitution, at least know the First Amendment. You ain't got to know word verbatim, you know what I mean? But at least know the general outlines of the 5 elements. The 5 elements is freedom of speech,
I agree.
freedom of press,
I agree.
freedom of religion,
Agree.
freedom of assembly, and a freedom to address your government of grievances.
See, and I know every one of them,
Right,
but
but
I don't know that they're in the first.
okay,
I know you have that right.
right. I bet you remember it now. Don't after today though.
Probably.
Probably. That's good. That's good.
Still Alzheimer's kicks.
You're off duty and smoke a fatty and forget about it.
I don't smoke. That is something I've never prescribed to.
Yeah, that's fine. You drink cold beer once in a while, I bet though, huh?
That I do.
See, I'm not a drinker. No, I prefer to smoke fatty myself. Boy, you can find weed everywhere in the UP anymore.
Pardon?
Said you can find weed everywhere in the UP anymore. They got it out there on 77, down there in Manistee, Escanaba, the Sioux, Marquette.
You know, the only spot I found out that had a problem with it,
Where,
the tribe tried to put it in.
well, the tribe over here by 28, over by the Sioux, they've got a dispensary over there now.
But that's not on tribal property.
No, it is.
They told me-
Northern Lights or something?
They told me they had to move it off the tribe because
Okay. Oh,
the
so they've
property-
moved. Okay.
because of the res.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they're you know they're
But
They're-
they're their own little nation.
well, that's it. You know, yeah, one nation or whatever they. You know, I don't know if they fall under that. I think that maybe that's a Canada thing. Yeah, I forget what it's called. Nations. I don't remember. One nation or nations.
It's a Canada thing.
Yeah.
Is my understanding here, tribes are all sovereign entities with the federal government based on the treaty.
Yep. Yeah.
So, tribe,
Yeah, they handle all their own.
state law does not apply.
Yep.
Unless they want.
Yeah. Yeah. State trooper cannot go on the reservation and arrest somebody.
I don't go on the res. I've been told I can go on the res.
You have to go through their elders
But I
and.
have to arrest the white man.
Right.
I
Right.
don't go on the res to arrest an Indian.
Right. Right.
Native.
There are a lot of blonde hair, blue eye Indians up here.
How much Indian blood do you have to have now?
60%, ain't it? You ain't got to be 50 to 60, maybe 40. I'm not sure.
Last number I got was 64.
Okay, that could be right.
That ain't very much Indian.
No, not at all. My dad, he's French Canadian Indian. He looks exactly like an Indian. My mom's side of the family, my grandpa, he's Polish.
But then up here, he can be half Indian. But if he's French Indian, does he have an affiliation with the Sioux tribe of Chippewas? Or
Right.
the tribe in Marquette?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about looking into my my DNA bloodline on that, see if I qualify for any of that stuff. But I mean, I just don't have the money to go get the DNA test and stuff like that.
What's that cost?
It's at least $150 at least, you know what I mean?
So does that mean it costs you $160 if you want to get the test and go through like Ancestry?
Yeah, you can go through any of those like Ancestry DNAs or whatever, and get some accurate I don't know what like the tribe where if they have a specific, you know what I'm saying, but for the most part Ancestry would be a good start. And I think I looked at it, it's like $125, $150.
See, I'm curious because I don't know what our office had to spend when they hired a private company to try and backtrack the baby Garnet situation we had from 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
When the baby was found in the outhouse.
Oh, didn't know.
That was all over the news here 6 months ago.
I've only lived up here for 11 years now. I came up here off and on all my life. My grandparents originate from up here. My grandpa, was a World War II vet, drafted right out of Newberry High School.
Okay.
So I mean, this is where my blood comes from. This is where my heart's always been. And when I turned 29, 30 is when I moved up here. So my mom was up here. I mean, my son lived with my mom.
There's a difference. My grandfather jumped on the ship that came over from Germany.
Yeah, see, my grandpa's parents' family came from Poland, so it was the whole German Polish thing, and Grandpa didn't like that. You know what I mean? And when he drafted, he was a sergeant in the army, So I'm not 100% sure. What I think he may have been involved in the March to Rome.
What was the March to Rome?
That was at the end of the war.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't give you like the deep, I know the bits and pieces, you know what I mean? And but that was right at the end because that's where Hitler was hiding out at, was at one of the things, but I've watched a lot of the history stuff on it. I have so much information in this world to retain, you know what I mean?
How did Rome come into Hitler?
Because that was just part of the land he took, and it was one of them places they had castles and stuff there, so he used them as bases and stuff like that.
He was hiding out there, and my history I always thought told me that he died in his own bunker.
Well, he had spots that you know what I mean. As we pushed in, they fell back. You know what I mean. So the further their line was ahead, the further he could come out if he wanted to. You know what I mean. He had all kinds of villas and stuff all over out there. So yeah, they say he died in his bunker. He killed himself or whatever. But
yeah, we'll never know. The Russians got the body.
Yeah. We'll never know the 100% truth. Yeah, because it was a big contest between the Russians and Americans to get there first. Everybody wanted to get their hands on him. And he was a smart man. He killed himself. He had ended up like Saddam Hussein and been hung in public, or like what's that Baghdadi dude they stoned or whatever, you know what I mean, right there in public, whatever they did to him, they tortured that guy and strung him up right in town.
We talk about cruel and unusual punishment now. If you open up the Bible, that was the #1 way of therapy.
Damn right, yeah.
Stone them.
Yeah, dig a hole, stand in the hole, we're gonna throw rocks at you. Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, we didn't have guns then, Back then, they probably whipped out a pistol real quick and shot you,
Hey, because listen to Mike Avery on the way over here today. We got a legislature in Lansing now to introduce the assault weapon ban.
Oh, yeah?
It didn't go through. He's going to try it again next year. How did Avery put it? It is any...
He's a Democrat, too, ain't he?
Who?
Avery?
I
No?
want to say that he's an outdoor enthusiast. He's got a show on once a week. The assault ban is for any semi-automatic rifle.
This would be like a 22 auto.
Which takes a clip and either has
It'd be a magazine.
A magazine or a clip, and either has a thumb hole in the stock or a pistol grip.
Really? So you couldn't take your squirrel gun, put a composite stock on it with a grip, and have a magazine,
doesn't say how many rounds in the magazine.
Right,
It's a
right.
magazine. But he was nice to us. He said allow a provision that as long as we registered our hunting rifles, and we re-register them every 5 years, we can keep them.
Yeah, fuck that.
And if we don't register them, it's a felony.
Yeah, they want to know everybody's guns and where they're at and how many rounds of ammunition you have, and that's bullshit. So yeah, they're steadily trying to chip away. And here we are in a constitutional carry state now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, I can walk down the road with a rifle on my back, a shotgun, or a pistol, open carry, and it's completely legal, you know. And even as an officer, you don't even have the right, unless I've broken the law, to even come and ID me to see if I'm a felon allowed to own it or nothing. You have to have probable cause first.
The only caveat to that is the DNR regulations.
So the DNR could then, huh?
Well, and I can enforce the DNR stuff, which says you have to have a valid hunting, a small game license
Okay.
to carry that shotgun
Oh.
in a game area.
Okay.
No, not in Detroit, but obviously Curtis in the game area.
Yeah. There's no noise ordinance here in town. There's no gun ordinance.
Nope, it's open carry.
Yeah, if I lived right here, I could stand right in my backyard and shoot my gun all day. You know.
You might come into the term I want. The safety zone.
Be like a public nuisance thing.
Well, public nuisance is disorderly conduct. We can't enforce that on private property.
Okay.
But other than the landowner, I'm a landowner. I can't discharge a firearm within 150 feet of another dwelling.
Okay. I didn't know that.
That's in the DNR laws.
Okay.
So if Mr. Hill, who lives in there, wants to start shooting, his neighbor can file a complaint because he doesn't have a gun range. Now, if he
Okay.
owns 10 acres
Right.
and he's got 200 feet between him and his neighbor, yeah, he can shoot all those.
150 feet, 200 feet's not much neither.
No,
You know.
it's 50 yards.
Yeah. So, I mean, right here in town, a lot of these people don't have that, you know, but once you get on this side of the road, you might, you know what I mean, can find it a lot easier.
Mr. Citizen, I will tell you this much. There's been 4 ORVs go by us since we've been sitting here,
Yeah.
and they were all legal.
Yeah, were they? Was you watching?
I was watching. They all got their seatbelts on. They've got their ORV tags.
Yeah, the locals around here are usually pretty good on that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, even if I don't go fishing this year or go small game hunting, I always go buy my license, just so I know that money is going towards our conservation.